The girl I'm going to marry told all of her friends to block me on social media and said both of her parents had died months before our wedding. I found out her mother was fine when I went to her town. She doesn't want me, age 28, to talk to her best friends before we get married. I've been seeing her for 2.5 years, and most of the time, everyone knows about it. She is public because both she and I like posting pictures or videos of ourselves from trips or times we've spent together. We also made it clear on Instagram that we were dating. She doesn't have many real-life fans on Instagram though, either at work or in her free time. She has about 7 or 8 really good. There is one cousin and some friends that she gets together with often. Since the beginning of our relationship, we have both grown up and decided to get married in November or December 2024. So I thought it would be best to welcome her into my family last month as well. I asked her approval and then chose to meet my family in the city at a nice restaurant. My family got to know her, liked her, and decided on a wedding date. But my girlfriend said it was too early for her to get married this year, so we decided to wait until February 2025, 6 months from now. People in my city usually book wedding halls ahead of time to make sure they have a good spot. So I got her permission, talked about it with my family, and set up a place for weddings. When the next few days came around, she rented a place for her part of the party. Traditionally, we hold parties for both the bride's family and the groom's family. She's already met my family and a female friend of mine who lives in a different town with her boyfriend. Both times were well planned. She might have also met one of my other friends by accident in the mall. I have never met her friends that way though. A few times I met some friends by accident while driving my girlfriend somewhere. 2 or 3 of her friends joined us, but we didn't talk much while we were driving. Her friends did know that we were dating though. I was confused by a strange event that happened last week. She got a text from a friend on Instagram. Before this, I had only spoke with her friend once, maybe a year ago. When my girlfriend wouldn't talk to me after an argument, I politely asked her friend to talk to my girlfriend once because she is a great friend. She said, "Okay, I will definitely talk." I also texted her friend because I thought my girlfriend was having a lot of problems and would benefit from having a friend to talk to them properly because she had a big loan and was having problems with me and her family for different reasons. Soon after, my girlfriend called to tell me I had DM'd her friend on Instagram, and she told me I had to stop. I promised to never talk to her again. Even though I was shocked, I agreed because our relationship wasn't stable at the time, and I gave her time to settle down. Later that day, her friend sent me a message that said, "I'm sorry I can't help you with this," and she blocked me on Instagram. I told them I was fine and didn't answer, so this happened last year. Last week, this same friend texted me out of the blue because she couldn't reach my girlfriend on the phone and was worried about what was going on. I politely told him, "Hey, she's fine, probably busy with work, I'll let my girlfriend know you're trying to reach her." I then called my girlfriend and told her that her friend had called, to which she answered, "That's right." Oh Lord, why does she have to text you? Please suspend her from Instagram. It was rude to stop a friend and act like a child. I told her I wouldn't, and my girlfriend told me her friend would do it if I wanted. After a short time, I saw that her friend had blocked me again on Instagram. This time it made me a little mad, so I texted her on her other Instagram name and asked, "Hey, how are you? I didn't like what you just did, and this is not a very respectable way to talk to someone." I also told her that her husband should not text my girlfriend while you're having problems if he has any self-respect. Then she said, "Hey, my husband, me, and her were in her life long before you came along." I quietly told her that I didn't want to hurt their relationship, I just wanted to make it stronger, and I felt embarrassed that I had been blocked twice when I tried to connect with her. My only goal was to meet them or have a quick chat with them. So she didn't answer and told my girlfriend, who got mad at me because I made a reference to her friend's husband. I thought that was the only right way to say what I wanted to say. So she could meet my family and friends. I told her I liked her. She didn't have any family left because her parents had died and all of her other cousins lived in other countries or very far away. On the other hand, her friends would be the ones to come to our wedding from her side. In that case, I thought she would treat me with more respect and not ask her friends to block me on Instagram. She often goes to the house of this female friend, and they sometimes have sleepovers or even birthday parties at their house with this friend and her husband. Parties or some other reason. I never had a real chance to hang out with her friends or meet any of them. I told her more than once that your friend sometimes brings her husband and baby to group classes. So maybe I can meet them once. On the other hand, she is strongly against this, and the current blocking event worries me a lot. She says that my ex-boyfriends have caused problems for my friends in the past, and I don't want that to happen again. However, this made sense up until about a year ago. But since we're getting married in 6 months, she doesn't want to introduce me to them until after the wedding. Also, when she gets married, these people will probably have to help her keep her end of the deal by doing less work for her since she won't have anyone else to do it for. I had to talk to them because well about getting ready for our wedding. Because of this, I haven't talked to my girlfriend in 2 days. She's worried about the marriage now that I want to meet her friends, and she says I will be controlling in the future. I think she'll text or call me back soon. Is it the right thing for me to ask her to introduce me to her friends? What should I do? I wrote a blog post a few days ago about how my girlfriend 32F asked one of her best friends to block me on Instagram. Even though it wasn't long ago that we were blocked, I was shocked to learn today that my girlfriend's mother, who she has always said is dead, is not really dead. In other words, the girl's best friend who was already. He texted me to see where my lover was because she couldn't reach her. He is married and has 1 kid. When my girlfriend found out, she asked me to block her right away, but I refused. She then made my best friend block me, and the rest of the story is in the first piece. I haven't been able to trust her since then. My partner has always told me that her family doesn't have anyone. She said she was a child whose parents had died and living alone. She said her aunt was the only person living in her country home, so she went there every 3 to 4 months to see her. But something felt off about it. She would stay there for at least 2 to 3 days every time she went. Other things also didn't seem right. For example, when she got a call, her contact name showed up as Dad Home, and the person on the other end spoke to her, and she always called her aunt. My girlfriend met my parents already, and we were going to get married in February. My parents were worried about our marriage because they didn't like how secretive things were and how my girlfriend asked her best friend to block me. I thought it was because we were from different generations and tried to reassure my parents that it wasn't a big deal. But my parents didn't like this plan, so last week they went to my girlfriend's workplace and asked a coworker about her parents. But that friend didn't know much about her family. Even though I know my parents didn't do the right thing, they probably saw the strange things as a stranger and were just worried about my safety. Later, I tried to convince them that acting in that way at work is not acceptable. They said they wouldn't ask again, but they also told me to do a lot of study before deciding to get married. So, I tried to see the situation from both my parents and an outsider's point of view, which made me angry. My girlfriend wouldn't let me talk to or follow any of her friends or family on social media. She used to say that she wasn't going to bring her family because they would never agree with her marriage because intercaste or intercommunity marriages are still not widely accepted in some parts of India. However, she was always talking about how modern her childhood was and how open-minded her parents were. She used to make fun of my family for these things, being suspicious and behind the times. And she used to say that her parents would have come to the wedding for sure if they were still alive. When my parents met my girlfriend for the first time, they liked her right away and were very happy about the wedding. My dad even offered to pay for her side's wedding costs since she wasn't having a good time with money. But they started to doubt her when she had her best friend ban me. I was very suspicious after reading all of this, so I went to her house in the remote village today to be sure. When I knocked on the door, her mother answered. I had gone there claiming to look for someone else. She showed me pictures of her mother before, so I know it was her mother. It really did feel like meeting a ghost. She smiled and looked like a fit and beautiful woman, just like my girlfriend. Since the day my parents went to her office, my girlfriend and I haven't been talking the right way. She called my parents crazy for doing that because she was mad. She said that people in my town are smart, sneaky, and crazy, and that they spy on others. But she never realized that she was telling our family a big lie. I also agreed with her that asking in her office wasn't right. But it's not okay for her to say such mean things about my family when she was acting strangely by asking family and friends to block me and make up the death of her mother. So far, I haven't talked about this with my girlfriend. I'd like to know what you think about it. Without a good reason, I don't see how this could have been okay. I learned from people in the area that her father had died and that her mother was still alive. She was there with her aunt, who lived across the street in a different house. I only want to know if there is a good reason or judgment that can be used in this case, because I can't think of any. I thought her mother looked good and healthy. about 50 to 60 years old. Update 2, it's been about a month since I asked about my fiance's strange behavior and how she lied about her mother's death. Since many of you have asked, I thought I'd write a short report on the matter today. When I heard that her mother was still living, I was shocked for a few days. But over time, I started to feel better. I still wanted to know if I had done something wrong, though. Even more so because I knew both the good and bad parts of her. I can think more clearly now that some time has passed, but I still miss her. I think about what I understand about her. She really cares about animals, and in the 3 years we've been together, she's adopted or helped many street animals. She's been happy, sad, and open with me. There are good things about her, but she has also been very negative about my neighborhood, language, parents, and even me. She definitely did bad things, like limiting her time with her friends and lying about her mother's death, among other things. She had also lied to me before, which I think is the second worst lie after saying her mother had died. This took place one night when she arrived in my city from her town a day early. I learned about it because I called her a lot. She told me she wanted to surprise me, but we didn't meet that day because she said she was sick and tired and asked me not to come over. I called her a few times, but she never picked up. When I went to her place the next morning, she wasn't there. After a few hours, she called me from told him that she had gone to her friend's house because her friend's boyfriend had come to stay, and the guard wouldn't let another guy into the flat. They claimed to be related to hide who they really were. I trust her again even though she lied that time. Looking back, that was another huge lie, the second biggest lie in our whole relationship. The death of the fake mother is still the first. I saw her daily writing on WhatsApp about how I hurt her, how she was lonely, and how I stopped our relationship about 7 or 8 days ago. At that time, I went to a party with some guys and girls, and I saw her posting stories that directly slandered me, even though we were no longer dating. I wasn't dating anyone, so I could hang out with anyone I wanted. What I did that day was text her after reading her status posts. I was angry at what she wrote, and I also wanted to know why she lied about her mother's death. She gave a long answer, but here are the main points of her answer. 1. She said she lied about her mother's death because her mother was never treated with care when they were together before. Her ex probably never let her stay at her mom's house in the town for more than 2 days at a time. 2. Her ex-boyfriend probably cheated on her while her mother was in the hospital by going out with other women in the city. 3. She thought that people would value her a lot more if she lied about her mother's death, like her late father was. I didn't think any of the reasons she gave were important enough for me to trust them. She told me that 90% of her problems were because of her ex-boyfriend, and I asked her why she had to lie about her mother when I had always been there for her when she needed help with her family issues. I told her that I didn't understand any of what she was saying. Then she told me I was wrong to think she has narcissistic personality disorder. I told her that before because she never says sorry and uses gaslighting to hide her mistakes. I read online that these behaviors could be signs of NPD and told her to get help from a professional. She said she had seen a doctor who told her she had CPTSD, a mental illness that can sometimes make people act selfish. Still, I don't see how it makes sense to make up such a... She told me and my parents a complicated story about her mother to trick us both, including giving us a specific date for the anniversary of her mother's death. She was also mad at my parents because they thought something was strange and started to ask questions. I feel terrible for her and think she might be having some behavior problems, but I also think there is a deeper, more complicated secret, either hers or her family's, that has led to all of these stories. I made it clear to her in our last conversation that we can't save the marriage, no matter what she says. I don't want to hurt myself or her by asking her questions. I told her to just tell me the truth, because trust can't be earned back after what had happened. But she didn't say anything important that I could understand. Think about it. Next, I bought her an engagement ring with all of my money, but she didn't like it because it was too small and not unique enough. I found out she was having an affair with her friend months later. I spent a lot of time looking for the best ring I could afford, both online and in shops, before I asked her to marry me. It turned out to be a 1-carat diamond solitaire. 29F is my girlfriend. He doesn't like the ring and would rather have a different one. The ones she showed me are all bigger and cost more than I can afford. Because she was mad that I proposed at home and didn't do anything special, she said she would accept my offer if I gave her a different ring and a second chance. The fact that she's so focused on getting a bigger, more expensive ring makes me a little mad. She keeps talking about how small my old ring was, which makes me sad. I want her to be happy and have a ring she likes. Think about it. When she said no, it broke my heart. The rock is too small, as I said in my first gripe about the ring. I asked her to marry me by making the same lunch she made for us on our second date and proposing on our patio, with candles that smelled like her favorite thing. This should answer your questions. Update 1: I told my lover that I could buy her a new ring if she liked a different style than the one I bought her. I want her to be happy with the ring she wears every day. I would either keep the original ring as my engagement ring, since she has made it clear that she won't buy me a new one. I could also return it and use the money to buy her a new ring. I could only afford a 1-carat Usher diamond ring, which is what I bought. It was too little for her, and the other rings she showed me were bigger. Some of the things she wanted were way too expensive for me to buy. I have to say it caused some problems because everything cost more than I told her I could afford. To save money, she told me to get a short-term side job. I told her it would take me 2 years to save up for what she wants, but she says I'll find a way if I love her. I'm not against getting another ring. We don't agree on the price, though. She also didn't want the proposal, me making the same meal she made for me soon after we started dating, or putting candles on the deck, which she likes. I got her need for something unique wrong. She wants a public proposal. I didn't think it was public because she didn't say it. We now understand what she wants. I'd like to thank everyone for their help and nice words. I'm still not sure if I'll keep the first ring or not. I haven't worn it as an engagement ring yet, or give it back, because it won't really help me get the money my lady wants for her ring. I'm not even sure if or how I will save money for another ring. To be honest, the whole thing has made it less likely that they will get engaged for now. Thank you all again. Second change, August 21st, 2024. Backstory: when I was 30 and wanted to ask my fiancée to marry me, I bought her the most expensive ring I could find. It was a pendant made of 1K gold. I asked her to marry me by recreating the lunch from our second date and proposing on our porch, with candles all around us. Her answer was that she would marry me if I bought her a new ring. The samples she showed me were all much bigger and cost a lot more than I could afford. Spend. She told me that if I gave her a new ring, she would accept my proposal. It would be a second chance because she didn't like that I asked her to marry me at home. She didn't like the ring or the proposal. As an update, I tried to get in touch with her and find a way to help because I love her so much. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. We had a lot of arguments, and she told me to get a second job to get a better ring. She told me I got it wrong when she said I wanted a spectacular proposal because what I did wasn't special. I kept the ring because I couldn't give it back and would lose money if I sold it. My girlfriend was giving me options while I was looking for an answer. I thought we could work things out, but it's been about 6 months. My girlfriend broke up with me for a coworker after my last post. She said we started dating after I asked her to marry me. The last time I heard, they were still together and either traveling in the US. My girlfriend stole most of our things when she left. I had to start over in a way. The task was hard. When I started going out with women, my family stopped talking to me. Same-sex relationships are not okay with them. A lot of people liked both of my posts, but there was also a lot of bad comments. Most of the texts I got were also negative. Even though I've written in my blogs that I'm a woman, a lot of people don't remember that. What I got. A lot of notes and texts say that men don't understand how important the ring and proposal are to women. People who didn't think I was a man told me my proposal didn't work and the ring was awful. People said my proposal was terrible, and most of the responses I got were similar, telling me to put in more effort or be a better partner. There were also taunts, and a lot of them showed concern for my partner. I learned something from this. While I'm not in a relationship right now, I will try to be a better partner if I do meet someone.